Hey everyone, Cyber here, and welcome back to another Minecraft video. So you probably noticed that I'm not in my survival world. I'm actually in a creative world this time, a plains only creative world, because I've decided I'm going to start a brand new creative building series on this channel, where I'm going to transform this plains only world into something. I don't know what yet. Maybe a city. There's like 3 villages in the area too. I could probably transform those or something. Anyways, I'm doing this because survival mode is exhausting. I don't know if I'll continue that survival series or not. Well, if you see another episode up, I guess you have my answer. So anyways, I'd like to point out, like, I will be using a mod Axiom to help me with this project, because I know it can do quite a bit of things when it comes to building, so I'll point that out. And I'm also going to try and have shaders enabled. That's not really building related, but anyways, never mind that. So yeah, I'm just going to build stuff in creative mode. Like I said, I have no real direction of where I'm going. I'm just going to go crazy and hope it looks good. And I'm going to start with some terraforming. So yeah, let's go ahead and cut to a time lapse right away, because I think I've been yapping for long enough. So yeah, time lapse time. Okay, so hear me out. I know I said I was done yapping, but I ran into a problem. It turns out that I have accidentally deleted some of the time lapse and I was unable to recover it. So instead, here is some cinematic footage of what I was working on. Alright, I think I'm done terraforming for now. I will terraform more later probably. But here I have a nice flat piece of land to work with. Oh, also I may have changed the shaders. Yeah, in case you're wondering. But never mind that. So off camera I put these blocks here. I also put these blocks here in the ground because I'm gonna build a house here. I was gonna say I'm gonna build a small house here, but it's not really that small. It's not mega, but it's not small. I'm also going to put a road here where this block is. Like where I'm flying there's gonna be a road. And then on either side of the road there's gonna be like buildings and stuff. And I should make space for a mansion somewhere. I don't know, there's this hill over here. I could flatten the top of this hill and put something up there. Anyways, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get to some building. So yeah, let's cut to yet another time lapse. Alright, I think I've done enough building for one episode. So without further ado, I'm gonna give y'all a tour of what I've done so far. Starting off with the hotel. I called it the Block Inn because, well, it's Minecraft. And you can see I gave it like a grass block paint job. But I still made it like a modern hotel. Like the first floor is supposed to be stone, the second and third floor is dirt, and the fourth floor is grass. And I just made it represent the basic blocks of Minecraft. Now, if we go on the inside, well, you'll be disappointed because there's nothing here yet. The interior will be tackled in another episode. I do not guarantee it'll be tackled in the next episode. I just guarantee it'll be tackled in a future episode. This place will not be left interiorless. Hopefully not. Anyways, we look on the roof. We have some junk on the roof. We have solar panels on the roof because this is a green building, quite literally, as some of it is actually green. Back here we have the pool. I have yet to add like pool chairs and parasols and stuff. I'll do that in the same episode that I do the interior in. And I think that's all I really have to show for the hotel. Here's this side. Y'all haven't seen this side yet, but it looks the same as the other side. Anyways, the next thing I want to talk about is this road. So it goes from here. It's probably going to go up here one day and maybe connect to that village over there, which I will transform maybe one day. And then it goes over here, goes up a little, connects to the house, and then it goes through this hill here and goes up. Then it goes up and turns right onto this clearing where I may or may not put a mansion here. I don't know, I'm gonna put something here, I just don't know yet. Earlier in the video I said I might put a mansion here, but I might not. Though this would be a good spot for a mansion. I'm considering it now. Alright, now let's go back down. And finally the house. The modern house. I said it wasn't going to be small, but it actually is kind of small, come to think of it. I mean, it's large compared to a survival starter house, but when it comes to like creative builds, you could probably call this a small house. I don't know. Anyways, first we have the garden. We have these plants here. Oh, I want to talk about these plants. You may have noticed in the time lapse that these dead bushes were actually fence posts. I replaced them with dead bushes because I saw an image online that used the same trick and I think it looks a million times better. So yeah, there's that. Then we have this fountain, which I made with stone and diorite and end rods. As you can see, I say it's a pretty nice fountain. Nothing too special, nothing too crazy. Added these benches. Added these things. That way leads to the pool, but I'll get to that in a sec. First, let's start with the interior. And you know what? Let's just start with the garage first. So here's a garage. Here's like a tool bench or a workbench. This copper lightning rod is supposed to be a car part. It's supposed to represent a car part. Because also, don't ask why the car is parked sideways. It's because the person who owns this house is working on it. Yeah, definitely. That's why there's a car part on the table. Anyways, there's another workbench back here and in a shelf. Nothing much in here. I could have probably added more in this garage, but I didn't, so. Alright, now on to the living room. Here I have like a potted plant, and this is supposed to be a vase or a vase. However the heck you pronounce that. I'll just pronounce it both ways so I don't trigger people in the comments, but I probably will anyway, so Yeah, that's unfortunate. Anyways, you might right away you might notice that a few things are different in here, such as the couch. I replaced the gray couch with a white one with pillows, and I added some paintings as well. Some nice interior decoration. I added a window here. There was a painting here too, but I replaced it with a window because I feel like it needed to be a window here. Now, I don't know about these stools. I'm pretty sure I added these off camera. Maybe I did add them on camera, but I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I added them off camera. These river skulls for stools, which I think look pretty good. Well, they could look better, but it's Minecraft. There's only so much you can do without mods. Anyways, I added some sea pickles for like cups. Another potted plant. Here's a sink that's constantly filled with water. A cutting board. That's supposed to be like a place where you put kitchen tools, such as knives and stuff, and spatulas. Just use your imagination here. Here's the oven / stove. And here's the toaster, which is actually a dragon head. Just ignore the fact that the toaster constantly has burnt toast in it. Like I said, there's only so much you can do without mods. And of course, here's the massive fridge. The rich people fridge and freezer. Anyways, that's all in the kitchen. Oh yeah, you're probably wondering how the glass panes aren't connecting. Well, that is actually a trick to do with the mod Axiom. Because when I right click glass panes, or when I right click certain blocks, it changes them. So I can do stuff like this with glass panes. Anyways, onto the bedroom. I originally was not going to put a bedroom here, as you might have saw in the time lapse. I was gonna have an outdoor section here, but I realized that this house doesn't have a bedroom, so I decided to put a bedroom here instead. Anyways, in this bedroom we have another TV. I also tried to use some banners to make these look more like actual furniture. I could have probably done more with the banners, but I'm lazy, so this is what we got. Another plant. And end rod lamps. Using wither skulls as lampshades. You could do the same for skeleton skulls if you want a white lamp instead. I'm pretty sure I got that trick off of YouTube. Anyways, if we go out these doors, we have the pool area, and you can also go out these doors too that connect to the living room and kitchen. And did I close those doors? Yes, I did. Anyways, yeah, you have the pool. It got 2 parasols, I think that's what you call them, and some pool chairs. And the glass railing, because this is a fancy modern house. I think that's everything I have to show. So anyways, with that, I think I'm going to end it off here. So I hope you enjoyed this first episode of this building series. Also, I hope you don't mind this style of video I make where it's I talk a little bit and then the majority of the video is time lapse. If there's a better way I can do this creative style of video, feel free to suggest so in the comments. But for now, and maybe for the rest of the series, this is the way I'm going to make the videos. Like I said, it's probably not the best way, but that's the way I do it. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say. So, hope y'all enjoyed. If you liked it, click the like button. And subscribe or else I'll come to your house. Nah, I'm kidding, but if you want, you can subscribe. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. So once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video of whatever video I upload. Cyber out.